This is normally the thing.
You can it in my face for once. Hello, Mr. Triber, how are you? You can come and say a quick hello on the camera if you like.
I would.
We've
Do it in the voice though. Don't just.
Look at this. Look at this.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, hello.
And welcome to.
And welcome to. I'm sorry. What am I plugging?
October Red.
October Red?
Yeah.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to October Red.
You've gone a bit red, Thomas, to be honest. You've gone a bit red.
You made me blush.
I'll do that to people.
Yeah.
I'll do that to people. But we are here. Yeah, lovely to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
We like it. Look at this. Getting the royal treatment, only in Birmingham, but look who I'm joined by, the one and only.
Come on.
Multi-talented. I'm going to stand up and do a press conference.
Might work.
Yeah, just on there, but we'll catch up.
Everyone wants to say hello to October.
You know what? I'm taking it today.
This is your city, isn't it? This is your time.
Birmingham.
You've been waiting for this, haven't you? You got two today, haven't you? You got
yeah, I like to get about a bit.
Edwards
I like being
Fine.
busy.
Nice.
But listen, Dev Sahni, so much has happened. We haven't spoke for ages, and like I said, every time I come to the press conferences, you're being bombarded. Everyone wants to speak to Dev Sahni. That's why I've got in early.
But yeah,
We can talk about today, but Dev, there's so much to cover. You've always championed for Queensberry fighters. You make no bones about that. But we've got to talk about Daniel Dubois and Joshua.
Oh, come on. I mean, look, all the respect in the world for Anthony Joshua. The reason that there were so many knockdowns was because he kept getting back up, heart of a lion, tried to get up at the end as well. Coming of age for Daniel Dubois. Went in there and just set about him. Who does that? Who just sets about Anthony Joshua? It just shows, all the experts going in. If Dubois gets hit with one of the right hands that he took off Hrgovic from AJ, it's good night. But that was it. That wouldn't just be you, but that was kind of common thinking. If AJ hits him like that, it's good night. AJ did hit him like that, but only got a couple through. And Dubois hit AJ a lot more than AJ hit Dubois. Tremendous performance.
I think it was like 49 or 47 power punches. I spoke to Gareth A. Davies from a heavyweight. Power punches.
Yeah, he's going to be very hard to beat. The volume, the pressure, the power, the youth. He's so much younger than all these guys. Ring Magazine put out their latest top 10 rankings. Justice Hooney has crept in as number 10. The champion's Usyk, and then there's 10, right? But apart from Justice Hooney, Dubois the youngest out there. He's the youngest one, and he's got the highest knockout percentage. He's an animal. He's an absolute animal. And he told people after the Hrgovic win, this is my time, this is my era. This is how you go and do it. Go and knock out Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium. Wow.
And that he did. And like you said, credit to Anthony Joshua because he kept on trying to get up. But sometimes 100%. I feel because Anthony Joshua has been the star and is the star, he's brought boxing to the forefront. Sometimes I think we still pay a lot of attention to him, and then sometimes the credit gets pulled away from Daniel Dubois, not from Anthony Joshua, because he sung Dubois' praises. He went, fair play to him.
100%.
I was in survival mode. He said that on Steve Buncey's channel, 5 Live.
Yeah.
But to see that journey with Daniel, obviously you've been there from the beginning. So you've seen the Joel Joyce, the people that were saying that, this guy's a quitter, once a quitter, always a quitter, all of the stuff. I didn't think Daniel was somebody that would probably absorb that information, but it seems as if he has.
Yeah.
And he's took action because, like you said, people say once that's in you to give up, it doesn't leave you.
Listen, I think
he's turned that on its head.
If you go back to the Joyce fight, if he hadn't done what he'd done, there would be no Daniel Dubois world heavyweight champion. There'd be no Daniel Dubois knocking out Anthony Joshua at Wembley Stadium. There'd be no Daniel Dubois, perhaps with sight, full stop. So, correct decision. And the things that he's done since, he's been faced with questions in fights where he's had to ask himself, Kevin Lerena down 3 times, your ankle's all messed up, what are you going to do? You're gonna go away? You're gonna give this one up? Are you gonna lose to Kevin Lerena in front of all these people? No, I'm gonna get up and knock Kevin Lerena out. Against Hrgovic, taking 48 right hands or whatever he had a question. Should I just keep taking these or should I do something about it? He did something about it. Jarrell Miller had him in hell halfway through that fight as well. Should I just keep getting walked down by this fridge or should I do something about it? He did something about it. This is a guy who does things, and he does things with those heavy hands, the heaviest hands in heavyweight boxing today. And I'm a fan. I'm proud of him. Been there since his debut. I was in his locker room. I remember we had the nickname of Dangerous Daniel Dubois. That was what it was supposed to be.
Not Dynamite.
No, well, we went into the locker room and he just had Dynamite written on his shorts. So random. He changed his nickname himself. So I've been there since that day, and long may it continue.
There's some rumours now that there's potentially a rematch. We know that there wasn't a rematch clause. I think there was a little bit of a mixture there where it was kind of, there was one fight left with Anthony Joshua with the Riyadh season, not necessarily that there was a rematch. However, both parties are open to that rematch. Now, I like to play devil's advocate, and I know Anthony Joshua's going to go away and he's going to study his mistakes and potentially come in more dangerous. I don't think he's going to just roll over and let that happen to him again. But what are your thoughts on the rematch?
Look, if it happens, then great. I can't imagine it's something that Daniel Dubois would be shying away from. Daniel Dubois is he's the one that won the first fight and done so very, very convincingly. So I can't imagine he'd shy away from it. Obviously, all the important people have got to have important chats about it. But yeah, you're absolutely bang on about AJ. He'll be meticulous. This will hurt him. He will be watching back that first fight again and again and again. They'll be breaking it down with Ben Davison meticulously, going through what went wrong, and the kind of character that he is, the kind of lion that he is. He'll want to get that back. So it'll be very interesting. I don't know what will happen next, but knowing both of their mentalities, you just never know.
We've got to move on to the Dmitry Bivol, sorry, I should say in correct order, Artur Beterbiev versus Dmitry Bivol for the undisputed light heavyweight championship. Once again, that's over in Saudi. I'm really looking forward to that fight. Two fighters that I've watched for a very long time. Beterbiev, one of my favourites, just because of his training methods. Doesn't say much. He does a lot of his talking in the ring.
Yeah, most of his talking in the ring.
I could say the same about Bivol, even though there's a bit of a controversy surrounding him, which I'll touch on with Eddie Hearn. But a little bit of stealing the limelight from that. We saw Chris Eubank Jr. have a little bit of a vent at the top table, which was quickly subdued with an apology. But at the end of the day, it happened and it was out there. You were there that day. What did you think?
I don't know what I can really say about it.
I hear that.
And I don't want to say anything that I shouldn't. So I'll just swerve that one.
No, it's fine. Yeah. I get it. But I would say, I've said that, look, whatever it is, it brings more eyes to it. I understand that it's negative, but boxing is very controversial, and us as fans, we seem to latch on to the things that aren't necessarily corporate, the things that aren't necessarily positive. Like we said, we've got that undisputed fight, a fight that would never be happening, but then it's sort of like overshadowed by a bit of controversy. British boxing fans.
But that is the fight, right? Beterbiev Bivol is the fight. Maybe the best fight that can be made in boxing. And did you get to see Dmitry or Beterbiev? Did you spend any time with him?
Unfortunately, no.
Well, you'll know.
I'm at the bottom of the pecking order for these interviews. Okay. You know that.
Look, that will change soon enough. Especially if you keep getting these views with Dev Sahni, and I'm sure that's good.
We love it.
No, but Beterbiev's. I got to interview him last week,
and
just that silent killer, assassin kind of vibe about him, but so humble as well. That's the thing. I said to him at the start, "You're the most destructive man in boxing. 20 fights, 20 wins, 20 knockouts," and he was just shaking his head. I was like, why are you shaking your head like you are? He was like, forget. He's just so humble with it. And Bivol is also humble. I love the fight. I do think I know who's going to win. I would lean towards Beterbiev. Neither of them are like. I just think he beat Gvozdyk, right?
Yeah.
And I think Gvozdyk was really good at that time. I think if you remember correctly, there was like a three-headed Ukrainian monster that was coming out of the Olympics, out of the amateurs around that time. It was Usyk, Lomachenko, and it was Gvozdyk. And Gvozdyk had a brilliant win over Adonis Stevenson, knocked out Adonis Stevenson, became the lineal champion and the WBC champion. And Beterbiev went in there. He was losing rounds against him, but ultimately just beat him up. So I rate Gvozdyk highly. You're also seeing the problems that Gvozdyk gave David Benavidez, who's he's one of the best fighters out there.
Yeah, good test for him.
So I rate that win. I think it's 2019. I rate it very highly. And I've also seen him take flush punches from Anthony Yarde, who I believe hits harder than Bivol. And I just think he's the Terminator, and eventually he'll catch up with Dimitri Bivol. That's how I see it in my head.
Cannot wait for that fight. But we've got to finally touch. We're here in Birmingham, a place that I love so dearly. My city. Welcome to Birmingham.
Thanks.
Talk to us about Liam Davies and Masoud. There's a little bit of 5v5 about this again. It's like the Matchroom and the Queensbury, like going head to head, but in a good way.
Yeah, I mean, Queensbury on tremendous form when it comes to.
I'm going to keep out of it. I'm going to keep out of that. I'm going to swerve it like you swerved the other one.
But look, we're doing this interview pre-presser.
Hopefully you know it's going to be spicy.
It should be. It should be. Liam Davies is never in a dull presser. There is some sort of beef here between him and Shabaz Masoud. I've been told, like, Frank's not going to be here today, unfortunately. He's feeling under the weather.
Yeah.
But he just
said...
Get
well soon, Frank.
Yeah, get well soon. He just said, he messaged me this morning, keep in the middle of them if it sort of goes off. And I'm like, oh, cheers. But I've been doing my press-ups. I'm ready to go. Don't worry about that.
Dev, you'd be jumping off that stage.
To be fair, I watched one the other day where I had Sam Maxwell and Akeem Ennis-Brown.
Oh, yeah.
They were going back and forth, and I just sort of ducked under the table. I didn't get up or anything. I just let you boys crack on. But today should be interesting.
Yeah.
It's a brilliant fight. It's a thriller between two unbeaten British super bantamweights who do not like each other. On one hand, you've got Liam Davies, who's won everything, English, British, European.
He's good shows as well.
Yeah, and he's got all the Telford behind him. He's the reigning IBO champion. On the other hand, you've got Shabaz Masoud, who's been patiently waiting, watching all these guys get the limelight and thinking, I need a bit of that. And he's beaten Liam Davies twice in the amateurs. He's thinking, let me go and do that again. I love it.
I like that. When you have the amateur backgrounds with the pros, but amateurs are amateurs. We keep talking about it because it's happened so many times.
It's a good story, isn't it?
It is. Yeah. It is. But Dev, what about the rest of the cards?
I don't think it's been announced yet. So
that's what I'm fishing around to see who's on the rest of it.
Yeah, it's going to be great.
Well, of course it's going to be great. It's in Birmingham. I'm Birmingham bias. I'm always going to have that.
Exactly. But yeah, I think something should get announced today. I think they're just waiting for one of the opponents to fall into place, and then stay tuned on social media.
We love it. Dev, it's always a pleasure. Keep up the great work that you're doing. It's nice to see somebody championing for their company. It's like you've taken Johnny Nelson was the one for Sky, and you are definitely the one for Queensbury.
Do you know what's amusing? When we do the live streams, it's me and Johnny Nelson and Andy Clark.
How's that go?
Great. I love Johnny Nelson. I think he's great. You know, when you're in that position of being the kind of the presenter, you lean on guys like Andy Clark, Johnny Nelson, Steve
experience,
and also just if you've got 15 minutes to fill, I know I can just say something half decent to Johnny Nelson, and he can run for another 5. Yeah. Same with Steve Bunt, same with Andy Clark. So what I'm learning more is that these guys that you just see on TV, which I just used to watch on TV and think, oh, all right, yeah, what are they going on about? It's a talent. It's a real talent to just keep talking. And it's been great working with Johnny Nelson.
Well, I can say that you picked up that talent quite well because
we just done half hour of it.
Listen, always a pleasure, Dev. Enjoy it today, and I'll catch up with you soon.
See you soon. Thanks.
You.
Thanks very
People say I'm toxic, and honestly, I don't care.